Join the Music Universe podcast for this special social media extra from CRS 2021. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an exclusive social media edition of the Music Universe podcast. Matt is out, but I'm Buddy, and I'm going to take it from here for CRS. It's our first, and it's 2021, and it's virtual. And we got Noah Garner with us. He's actually in Nashville from a car, which I find hard to believe considering the ice storm y'all got.
It is unbelievable. Luckily, just to get here, they have the roads scraped up and salted, and everything has been cleared up. So we were safe to get here, and that's a blessing.
Awesome. And I know we were talking off camera here. This is your first CRS as well. Tell us about the experience and tell us about the music that you're promoting today.
So I think I was literally just talking to my mom. It's like the first time I feel like a superstar. Like, it's been back to back, interviews, talking about music all day, talking about writing, talking about what inspires me. And it put me in a really good creative space, put me in a really happy place. It's something I've never experienced before. And it's something that I hope I get to do again. And hopefully there'll be a time where we all get to do it in person. And that'll be super cool. I've been promoting, we got a new single coming out called Spring Break Town. That's on March 26th. And we're actually shooting some music videos. Been talking about that a lot lately. And we're shooting those this weekend. And then we've been talking a lot about the single that's out right now called Gotta Get to You, the things that inspired that song. And it's just been a really fun time talking about those songs. And, I've got, on top of that, we're putting out 2 EPs this year. One drops the same time as the single. It's also called Spring Break Town. That's the title single. And then there's another EP that we're going to release about the middle of the year with a bunch of co-writes on it and a bunch of projects that were written by other people that I was really lucky to be able to be a part of. And then at the end of the year, we're releasing a big overall project that's about 12 songs called Pieces of Me. And it's just kind of our way of like giving everybody an album going, these are my stories. This is where I come from. This is what I sound like. And I hope you guys like it, kind of thing.
Now, did any of the newly recorded music come out of being basically forced off the road last year, or was that planned and just kind of delayed?
So I try to rap every day, and I have, a little bit of something to write a little bit every day. And I think being forced to be at home and, to ourselves for a while, I think me and my team took it as a time to just take it as like self-reflection, take time to get mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy, get prepared for, what may come, because we don't know what will come. Just, we want to be ready and be on our toes and be able to do anything. So then some of the songs that are on this record did come from that, came from sitting around the house. Man, I write every day, but man, this one's just different, or that one fits the project. And we had a few of the songs, I Gotta Get to You, the single that I have out right now, I held on to for 3 years and didn't put out, and just sat on it. And if I finally came to be something that we wanted to put out, and we really believed in it. It was fun to watch that process. And as we were watching that growing, we looked back at my catalog of songs and we started picking out things and building an album. And, we spent most of 2020 doing that. And at the beginning parts of 2020 in March, right when all the shutdowns and quarantine and all were really starting to take effect, we had the album planned, 12 songs from the beginning. And then by the end of the year and going into 2021, those 12 songs were completely different. And, some have been taken out, and then added back in, replaced altogether. New songs were written. So just some were just dropped and shelved again in place of, the new song would just fit better, or whatever the case was. And at watching that process of how the album just kind of evolved over 2020, and because everybody was going through something different, and as it progressed and we were all finding our way, we were all telling different stories, and And I think it was really fun to dive into writing and dive into making an album and getting in the studio. How do you get in the studio apart? And I think everybody was really, when we had the opportunity to come together, we were really smart and everybody was cool about it. And then everybody was they're so amazingly talented to learn on the feet, like on the fly, how to do something at home and send it off to me. And that doesn't happen all the time. And it was fun to do.
Yeah, and then having you could now say vault songs that didn't quite make it, you could use whenever. So that's kind of a cool process. But at the same time, just like every singer songwriter, they're all their babies, so you have to figure out when to I guess birth them, so to speak.
Right. It's a funny process, man, because for me, and I say this all the time, like when I put out a project, it's done, and I don't think about it very much anymore because it's done, and I'm living life over here, and I'm gathering new experiences, and I'm changing, and I'm learning things, and I'm writing things, and the story changes. But that doesn't mean that the stories that I've written and told back then aren't true, or that don't ring differently, or maybe they fit something down the road. It's a wonderful thing to have, and I think it's the beautiful part about it is it never stops, right? Because you just keep writing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then luckily you're able to record those as well, and then you have that documentation. What when you had to come off the road, did you have to do any live streaming, or did you just kind of go right?
Oh yeah, it's actually they're still on the Facebook page. We did a lot of that. We did a lot of Instagram stuff, and people really showed up and showed out for us, man. It always blows my mind to think that I have a single fan, much less more than one, and to for anybody to care that much about me just based off of music and based off the stories that I tell, and because they feel something from the music, it's just a beautiful thing. People show, we did a bunch of live streams. We did some themed. I did we did one that was Tiger King, because that was like the big streaming thing, and so that was the theme. And then we did like an indoor beach theme where we like laid a tarp down and put our towels out and got our umbrella. We had a lot of fun with it.
A redneck beach, right?
That's exactly right.
So for those that may not be familiar with your style of music, what kind are we talking? More classic country 90s, or are we talking pop, or just
I mean, I think I would like to think it's a traditional theme with modern sound, if that makes any sense. Like I try to write the things that I listened to as a kid and the things that inspired me. I like to think show up in my writing. I like to believe that I write great 90s country songs, or great early 2000s country songs, that I write those, that they would fit then. But then when we produce them and they come out, they have a new grit to them. So they're not dated. Like they don't sound dated. Like they don't sound polished enough.
right?
We like to put like a modern spin on the things that I write. And I think I get really lucky with how they come out. I really do. I've been there are people that say I sound like Jason Aldean and Garth Brooks together, kind of, and just even have my name put in the same sentence as those guys is a big deal to me.
Yeah, it seems 90s is my favorite country era. Just I guess the production quality of it, and just the music is just cranked up into it, and it seems like it's making a big comeback. Hot Country Nights, Dierks Bentley's side project, is a great album. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And a lot of Luke Combs music is based on that, and a lot of newer artists are going back to that vibe. So it's really cool. So I'm excited about where country's heading.
Right, I am too. I think the beautiful part about it is now you're having the kids that grew up listening to that are now putting out music inspired by the things that they grew up on, and that's the cool part. History tends to repeat itself, not not identically, but it seems like there's something golden. There's a reason why that's the considered one of the greatest eras in country music. I think from you could even go back to like late '80s, '85 and up to 2005. It was like the best
Yeah.
that there could be. Like I did another one of these earlier, and somebody said the class of '89 is like a big thing, and it's like Travis Tritt and Alan Jackson and Garth Brooks and Brooks and Dunn, Reba McEntire, Regina McBride, like these just heavy hitter names all in one year.
Yeah, I know. It's insane about all the talent out there, and unfortunately, trends happen, and some of those artists aren't as popular as they were. But you gotta love them anyway. I mean,
I think there are gems of guys like Doug Stone or like Clay Walker, or and they're popular now, like Joe Diffie, and guys like that. Like there are pockets of times where they really shined in the '90s, and we're just cranking out home run songs. And if you play them today, people remember. Like people go, "Oh man, I know that song." I don't know why I know that song, but I know that song because they still live that way.
Yeah, that's what I love about country. I mean, it's very real, and you can live it. That doesn't necessarily mean every song that's sung is a true story, but I hope not, because there's a lot of murder songs. So it's just a lot of just great down home people that just love the genre. And Noah, I know you got a lot to get to, and I know you've got a long career ahead. So I appreciate you taking time and visiting with me, and we'll get this up and get you tagged, and hopefully your fans will enjoy it as much as I did.
Man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.